Hi friends. So this is a video sort of talking about the absence of love disguised as love in my family. And it's sort of just rambling. There's no real cohesive thoughts, I guess. Just me sort of talking about, you know, my experience of feeling loved and unloved within my family. I have like a bit of a script slash essay. Again, it's nothing profound or anything. It's just me putting thoughts into the universe. So here goes. I have been listening to bell hooks lately. I'm in the middle of listening to All About Love, and I'm struck by something. The absence of love in my family. The cold and clinical nature of love in my family. My grandmother has said the words, "I love you," a handful of times in my life. She herself only heard those words a few times from her parents. She speaks about how she knew her parents loved, especially her father loved her. I don't disagree that there are many ways to show love besides just saying it. But I also believe in the power of hearing those words. Those words that, when truly felt by the person who speaks them, emit a warm, healing power. Those words can be sweeter than honey. On the other hand, when spoken without emotion and care, can pierce your heart with the great force and pain of any bullet. I grew up with the absence of love and was told that this absence was love. The absence of my mother was her gift of love to me. She gave me to my grandmother. At the tender age of 4, after my father was imprisoned, I still feel the absence of a mother's warmth and love to this day. I know my mother believed she was doing the right thing. And she thought she did it out of love. She could not have known how unloved I would grow up feeling. My grandmother was a severe woman, not devoid of love, but close. Her thoughts of love involved picking you apart, making you feel small. For your own good, you must know your failings and every single thing that makes you fundamentally wrong and sinful to ever become a better person. You do not embrace or show any sort of physical affection. That is the way she loves. I grew up in an environment that made me feel unlovable. I was shown that affection and abuse coincided, and thus I wielded love as a weapon in my youth. I was an awkward little thing, autistic and ADHD and schizophrenic. I showed love in the only way I knew, brutally. Love for my uncles was a distant sort of love. They would take me places, encourage my grandmother to go easy on me and be lenient with me, and she often would after a bit of coaxing. But there was a fundamental lack of closeness. We rarely hugged, and that was often fine by me, because there was a disgust with physical closeness on all ends. But there was always a longingness there. I wanted that bond, despite being grossed out by it. The love for my aunts was similar to that from my grandmother, a picking apart that left me feeling small and unwanted and unwelcome. But at least they added a level of physical closeness, a sprinkling of hugs and kisses, but it felt somewhat scary. I often tucked myself far out of the way, reading a book, watching nature documentaries, researching. I never wanted to be close to anyone in my family. But there was, of course, that goddamn longing. I wanted to feel loved in the way the rest of my family was seemingly able to by my dysfunctional family. As an adult, I don't understand how to truly show love. I am still learning to show my fiance every year the love they deserve. I am scared to open up though. I am terrified to love. Love has always been so clinical. I love you because I must, not because I truly respect and care about you. I love you because I have to, but I don't want to. I love you, but I don't like you. So, yeah, that's, the kind of the little essay type rambling of thoughts that I wrote. And I don't know. I don't know if other people are able to relate to this. The lack of true closeness in a family. I'd especially like to hear from other Black people, because I grew up in such a way that I never learned how to properly show love. I never knew what love truly looked like. I only knew the cold, clinical side of love, the logical side of love. I never felt the true emotion of love, I don't believe. And now, as an adult, it's very difficult to truly express how I'm feeling, to truly talk about the emotional aspect of love. I'm getting better, I am, but it's hard because I feel a lot of times, especially within my family, that love was something you talked about, was something you bought, but wasn't something you really showed. Don't get me wrong, there were little ways, that I felt loved. Don't think this is all just, my family's terrible, it's horrible. I'm more talking about how I truly felt when it came to love. Because yes, I got to go on fancy trips, I got to go on a cruise, I got bought things that I really wanted and everything, but I still never felt that true bond of love. I never got to feel truly welcomed and wanted within my family. And maybe they have a different story to tell. I'm sure they had their own reasons in their own mind of why, they did things the way they did. But for me, I felt unloved within my family. I don't know, it just always really sucked. I know I'm rambling and there's no coherent thought to this, but I think that we as a society need to better learn how to truly show love, care, and real emotions. Because many times I feel that we think that telling someone you love them without any emotion to it, or buying people things or things of that nature. I feel that a lot of times we think love is a transactional thing, and that's fine. But the thing is that people like me grow up in an environment like that, and then we don't feel loved. Not really. It's like we know our family loves us, but we don't feel it. There's also a lot of threats of violence or actual violence within my family. I have been struck by my family. I've been screamed at by my family. And it is not, that kind of behavior is not conducive to a loving environment. That kind of abuse is not love, no matter how we try and dress it up in flowery words and roses. At the end of the day, a pig in lipstick is still a pig. And we have to learn to really love and show love. And you also have to be open to receiving love. Because I feel like a lot of us, when we get shown actual true love, we do not understand how to accept it. I'm working on accepting love. Because I have felt my entire life I am not deserving of love. So I reject any of that kind of thing. I don't want to have to deal with the consequences of being loved. Because when you love someone or am loved by someone or are loved by someone, like when there's that love there, there's also a risk of loss. And loss is inevitable. Like whoever you love or whoever loves you, one of you will beat the other to the grave. And that's painful to think about. It's painful for a lot of us to think about losing that person that we love. So I find that it's easier to not get attached to people. It's easier to not feel that love or receive the love or give the love. Because you will lose that person eventually. And it's going to be so difficult. Excuse my bird, she's going to be screaming. I apologize for that. But I can't do anything about it. But where was I? But we have to still be open to love and care. I'm on chapter 2, I think, of All About Love by Bell Hooks. And it just hit me in a very profound way that all my life I have been searching to fill the void and the absence that my family left within me. All my life, I have been seeking things to cover up the hurt and the perceived abandonment. Of course, I'm the one who went no contact with most of my family, but most of that is because I never felt welcomed within my family. I never felt that love from a family that you're supposed to feel. And so I pretty much I couldn't stand that feeling anymore. I couldn't stand being picked apart or being pretty much told in not so many words that I didn't belong in my family, that I wasn't successful enough, I wasn't pretty enough. So after all those years of feeling so unloved and unwanted within my own family, yeah, I went no contact because I am not going to continue to entertain people who make me feel so unwanted. I do still talk to my grandmother, even though some of the things that she did and said to me would be unforgivable for most people, and things that I don't forgive my grandmother, but I accept that she's never going to change. And I'm sure a lot of people would tell me to go no contact with her. But the thing is, I still have a lot of love for my grandmother. And at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is. And I guess part of me feels like because she did raise me, I owe her, access to me and a part of me. And I'm going to be there for my grandmother no matter what. Anything I can do to help my grandmother, I will. Because I might not have necessarily felt loved by her, but I do still love her. And, yeah, this has just been kind of like a ramble. And I'm going to cut it off here, or else I'm going to be rambling for a good 20-30 minutes. So, again, let me know down in the comments if any of this resonates with you, if any of this, you can relate to, or even if you can't relate to it, just tell me how your family was. Explain to me, the kind of things that you felt within your own family, whether it be you felt loved or unloved, welcomed or unwelcomed. Just, let me know. And, if you like this, I know I'm kind of a rambler, but if you like this kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe, to like the video, all those things. But don't feel obligated to. It's I'm not consistent with this. This isn't something that's my livelihood or really my passion. But sometimes I do want to express how I'm feeling to a larger audience. So, yeah, that's the video.